the sound of crack pavement and bass, where the echo still bounce off the roof we chase. Every crack a reflection of the scars and grace. Every win feel earned when you run that race. From dusk to dawn, I'm pinning my fate. Craft sharp, no break, no time for debate. They can try and imitate, but can't replicate, cause it's so too real for the algorithm gate. Yeah, worldwide, not just a tag. Welcome to the Smoke a Cigar with Me series. I'm Alden Guajardo. I've done over 350 doors, raised more than $15 million in private capital here in the Arizona market, performing in uncertain markets, teaching people how to make money in up and down situations. How do you do that in real estate notes? You know, outside complications of projected appreciation, outside complications of long-term real estate investment strategies, teaching people to become the bank. Ask me questions below. Let's see what kind of interaction we can get, if any. We'll just smoke this cigar and enjoy the evening. We're monitoring the chat right now on Facebook. We're live on Facebook and YouTube on the Mobile Mailbox Money channel. Trying something new here. Figured I know what I'm talking about, and if I provide as much unfiltered value out in the market at one point, things will hit, the anomaly ends up happening. Smoking on a Padron this evening. We got the TV set up here in the backyard. Got a single viewer here. Ask me a question below. We're monitoring the chat here in Facebook. So if you have questions in real estate investment or wondering what I'm smoking on, we're just enjoying this Tempe weather here. It's 9:34 in the evening, smoking on a Padron. I figure I'm pretty seasoned in the industry. What would I do if I were someone that was wanting to make an extra income on the side and I didn't have the capital to invest? Let's say that, and I was in the Arizona market. Knowing what I buy as Win Mobile Homes, I would strategically align myself with buyers, right? Find what they'll buy out in your buy box, almost like a wholesaling strategy. But here's the kicker, right? You actually don't have to have any money. Wholesaling, you have to put money up in non-refundable environments. I'll be your bank. Find me a manufactured home on land or leased land that someone's in a distressed situation, looking to sell their home more immediately, say a recent death in the family, or a for sale by owner that's been sitting for a long time. Say it's a manufactured home on land where the lot is included with the home itself. It's considered residential real estate property. I'm interested in acquiring subject to big time. So if you're a wholesaler or really you're just looking to try and earn some extra income, go drive parks, go find homes that look ugly, put a note on it. Handwritten letters go a long way. And that can be done pretty quickly. Sean Gibson, who actually works with me and is an associate with Win Mobile Homes, Mobile Mailbox Money, and Silvercrest, he found a batch of 12 homes. How did he find that? So he was driving parks, actually, and walked into a manager's office, asked them if they have any properties available, and didn't so much seem like a deal at first. They were listed at $50,000, brand new 2023 models. And I think he worked on the deal for like a month, but helped us acquire 12 homes, brand new homes, took them off the plate, found a problem, right? You got to find a problem, not just find things that someone is interested in selling. Where's the problem? How do we solve a problem out in the market? Because if there's no problem, you're paying retail, and that's not an investment strategy at the end of the day. So we're monitoring Facebook right now. If you have any questions, comment below.
Let's throw some other gems out there. Let's say you're more seasoned of an investor and you're looking to assert your position. So, not having to go out and buy inventory, flip it, rehab it. Here is a position for you. Throw a marketing strategy out to manufactured home individuals that are selling. Reach out to for sale by owners that you see on Mobile Home Village, Facebook Marketplace, and ask them if they have a buyer that failed to qualify for financing. And this could work also on real property. It's called seller financing, and doing a double close strategy, not having to come to the table with your own capital. How do I do that? How does someone do that? Do a double close, create a note, find an investor for the note, or use your own private capital on that transaction, and not use any of your capital up front for the transaction. Double close the seller finance. You find a for sale by owner who has a buyer already potentially interested, and they failed to purchase because of lack of financing. How do you structure a transaction like that? Well, you structure a purchase from the owner either via seller carry finance and have them carry a long-term note, or you negotiate a cash purchase with that owner who now has a buyer already on the table. You have them pre-qualify them to specific criteria, uh, negotiate with the homeowner, right? Get them at a cash price, tell the homeowner that the buyer, or really initiate contact with the buyer, almost like representing the transaction. And it gets a little shaky depending on if you're licensed or not. It helps if you're licensed. But you're buying a house that wasn't yours for a negotiated discount and selling to a buyer, right? You're buying from the seller at a negotiated discount. You're selling to the new buyer at an increased price point. So creating a margin, right? Almost like a wholesale strategy, but you already have the buyer in place because the homeowner has someone in the kitty, right? So you negotiate a discount, you sell at an increase, create a margin on that transaction. Say it's 20,000 bucks is your benchmark, right? So you found a house for 50 grand, you negotiated down 10 and you pushed the buyer up 10. You created a $20,000 margin, don't even own the property, right? You contract to the seller with a purchase, you contract to the buyer with a sale and open title with like lawyer's title, Pioneer Title, one of the title companies that will facilitate a creative transaction like that. Now you make sure on the sale that you qualify the borrower, buyer, right? So you put them through underwriting to validate their ability to repay, creating a compliant and higher grade of investment on a seller finance transaction, providing you the availability to either sell that note, borrow against it, kind of nimble in that accord once you understand underwriting and why a note is a note, why an underwritten, qualified, cash flowing, consummated, personally note is a bank quality position. That's an advanced strategy, right? You didn't even own the house. You bought it from someone that already had a buyer. You structured it to make 20,000 bucks on the transaction, and you didn't even own the home. So I could teach you how to do that at mobilemailboxmoney.com, or you could ask questions below. We're now live on Facebook and YouTube. We're just smoking a cigar here this evening. A couple people trickled in and out. Let's see what other gems I could throw out. Let's say I had $30,000 to $100,000, and I'm finding myself challenged because I don't want to spend my whole capital my whole portfolio, my liquid capital on one deal. We have the capital in order to do something like that. So start evaluating, right? And figure out how to leverage other people's money. How do I do that? How do you do that? Right? The deal will dictate what you're able to offer someone as an investment. So it depends on what kind of deal you're going after. Is it a long-term rental that you're offering an equity participation as a joint venture? Is it a real estate note where you can pledge that note in order to garnish capital and base investment legally at less than what the note is yielding, right? A little bit more of an advanced strategy, comes with some education. Those are two. What's another one? I heard of Gator lending with Pace Morby, and starting to wholesale properties, finding a lender to facilitate the down payment towards your wholesale transactions, right? And then exiting, selling to somebody else. That's not so much case specific to people with $30,000 to $100,000 that are looking for passive income. That's kind of swinging the hammer, sweat equity positions of, wholesaling, having to create a pipeline, things of that nature. A really easy one is you could go to mobilemailboxmoney.com and start hypothecating notes with your investors. I've taught, I think, 3 or 4 now people that have actively raised capital for the notes that I originate. They're offering their investors 10%. Say the note yields 14 or 15%. You can borrow, say, Aunt Jenny or your uncle or your family member, or really just a close associate that you've come to be in contact with, has some large capital. You go tap them, say, hey, if I had a collateralized opportunity for you to earn this stated return, right, contractually agreed, whether you agree to give up some equity in like a rental or, provide them some other personal guarantee, or you pledge a physical note position as collateral in order to get the loan, all areas of opportunity for someone to execute. I talk to a lot of people that have $30,000 to $100,000 and fall into that case specific category. A few of them have joined my mastermind for free. That's every Thursday at now 1 o'clock Pacific here, 1 o'clock Arizona time. But we're live on Facebook and YouTube, actively raising capital. If you're an accredited investor, you can start performing in a 30-day program and start earning interest for 10% for 1 year, 12% for 3 years, or 14% for 5, becoming the bank. And that's what I teach investors to do, become the bank in collateralized lending opportunities. Drop your questions below. Ask me anything. This is your time. Went to the Accelerant breakfast this morning. Met a investor that invests with a competitor of mine. So you never know who you're going to meet. That's what I was saying on my previous live. What else? Talked about the contracts that we're facilitating for investors. Went over to Magnum Cigar Lounge today with a couple of my chapter associates of Business Network International. 80 business professionals that meet on Wednesday at Orange Tree Golf Course, 11:15. Open invite for other business professionals that want to be in the room, meet with other like-minded individuals that are actually operating successfully out in the market. We're here enjoying the evening. Ask a question below. If you wanted to buy an education program and for a specific question, I could probably answer that right now. Had like 5 people join in and out. Just here enjoying the evening. These TVs out here is dope. So shout out to my Business Network International. We raised $2.5 million in seller finance transactions, in manufactured home sales, and capital investment. Just from my chapter alone, that's over the past 3 years. I was talking to someone at the Accelerant breakfast. They were asking if that was actually working for me. They hear that other people complain about it a lot. You know who the people complain about Business Network International? Is the people that don't want to put in the work at the end of the day. It's kind of cult-like. They require you to hit certain benchmarks. Well, if you can't facilitate hitting benchmarks, you probably shouldn't be in business at the end of the day. Drop a question below. This is open time here. We've had 5 or 6 people kind of join in and out. We're monitoring the chat on Facebook right now. and I am one of the largest operators in creative finance, manufactured housing in the nation. 15 million bucks in private capital, 350 doors. Just smoking a Padron here this evening. Went over my day earlier on the channel. We're just going to enjoy this cigar, enjoy the weather. If you're in Arizona, you know, we had that big kind of weird snow the other day. That was interesting. How is it 45 degrees, 40 degrees, and we get snow? I don't understand that. The Arizona weather's pretty interesting. Shout out to the people I met up earlier. Francisco Espinosa of F&M Services. He does air duct cleaning. If you need air duct cleaning, you can add him on Facebook or Instagram. F&M Services. Lou Pinkella, I met up with him. Seasoned professional, owns an insurance agency. You know, business owners, not just an agent, not just a new employee. These are truly, the heads of their industry, magnates of the Arizona market. Bob Lawton from All Points Realty. If you need a property manager, happy to provide that referral. But, your power is in your relationships. And I happen to be heavily connected, not only in Business Network International with some of the largest HVAC and AC companies in the Valley, some of the largest mortgage brokers in the Valley, some of the largest operating, transportation services, all the above, deep level connections that we've made here in the Arizona market. Big affiliate of Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. Their monthly meeting, their second Monday of the month meeting is at venue 8600. Worthy of going, couple hundred people that go, get market updates, meet other individuals, maybe get an interview with Mobile Mailbox Money at our booth. Heard a bunch of people making recommendations of other conferences to go to. Definitely interested. I heard a few today, actually. My phone's monitoring the Facebook chat, but the Secret Sauce Society, I heard, was a interesting group to go attend. Attended the Accelerant Breakfast. What were some other ones off the top of my head? I saw Masters of Real Estate that happened the other day. That was in Florida. I'm really itching to go to Pete Fortunato's groups in the Florida market. We're just enjoying a cigar here this evening. Truly manufactured the life that I've always wanted, sitting here in my backyard, streaming, raising private capital, answering your questions below, dropping gems. Go back and view this if you haven't had the chance to explore, the gems that I'm dropping at any given time. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just someone looking to start, exit your 9-to-5 or earn some extra commission-based income on the side while you work your 9-to-5. All areas of opportunity seen here. Got all the lights working this evening. Sipping a little Chivas. We're 20 minutes in. I think I've dropped more free education than anyone in the nation. We're close to it. Romeo's freaking out. If you smoke cigars, I'm looking to meet up, doing a couple meetups here and there every month over cigars and bourbon. Has been a great success for us. Been doing stuff at I was at Magnum's today off Union Hills in the 51. I was in Old Town Scottsdale at Fox Cigar Lounge. Shout out to my viewers this evening. Monitoring the chat here below. Should give me a shout out. Ask me a question. I'm here smoking a Padron 1926. I bought a box of a couple hundred of these cigars because my father gifted me a huge humidor. So we're here just enjoying the evening. The weather's fantastic. If you're not out on the patio, I feel bad for you. But we're monitoring the Facebook chat below. Shout out to Joseph Acuna out here watching this evening. Appreciate you viewing. You know, I raise private capital and teach people to invest. If you have questions about real estate investment or you're looking to exit your 9-to-5, all areas of opportunity here this evening. We're just enjoying this fantastic weather we have here in Tempe, Arizona. What kind of gem can I drop right now? I dropped a few over the past 20 minutes. Let's see. So let's say that you buy a note and the risk ends up coming to fruition, right? Maybe you borrowed against that note with your investor. Let's say that you got to that advanced strategy. You found other people's money in order to participate. Oh, so we got a question here. Joseph Acuna, appreciate your interaction here. What's your market and how can we do deals? Love it. So in the Arizona market, we deal in affordable housing. So we focus in mobile homes, manufactured housing, and value add residential real estate transactions, turning them into pad splits. Currently, the market in Arizona is seeing some plateau and even some depreciation depending on what market you're in. And that those statistics are supported by Arizona real estate updates given by the senior housing analyst from the Cromford Report. Shout out to Tina Tambower. I think someone else was starting to provide those statistics. But that's kind of the market that we're looking at. So if you find a manufactured home on land that's distressed or a subject to purchase where the entry position's less than $50,000 and it cash flows, important for it to cash flow at the end of the day, and hits the affordability in the market. So not $1 million transaction. Those are all areas of acquisition that I would acquire. So say you're a wholesaler or something of that nature, or maybe you're a capital investor, all areas that we can help execute together out in the market. Joseph, where are you logging in from? Appreciate you viewing this evening. Feel free to drop a line where you're at. Maybe we could do some business, Life's about doing business with the people you know, like, and trust. And that's why we're here even this evening, just to build transparency, build trust, and ultimately show you that we're not afraid to show face out in the market, show you who we are, show you, what we do on a daily basis, because we're actually doing business. Most people don't want to, turn the camera on or show what they're doing because they're really not doing what they're supposed to at the end of the day. So, quick words of encouragement. Don't hesitate to get out and do what you want to do. Your life's in your hands at the end of the day. Oh, shout out Joseph Acuna, Arizona primarily. So Joseph is in Arizona. I primarily focus on disposition, currently selling around 5 deals a month. Love that. Is that single family or multifamily? And how are you acquiring the assets that you sell at the end of the day? You must be working possibly in a wholesale component, or maybe you're fix and flipping. If you're fix and flipping 5 deals a month, that's big. Love to hear it. Doing some real transactions, even if that's not fix and flip. Multiple deals a month is hard to attain. That means you've built up a pipeline. You've built up other people that know, like, and trust you. So hats off to you, Mr. Acuna. Would love to figure out how we can do some business together. We're always at Azria. Would love to see you come out to the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. Great to build relationships and meet other like-minded individuals such as me and you sitting here today that know the value in putting yourself out there and being a true staple in the industry. We'll be doing a couple other cigar meetups and stuff like that. Sipping on a little Chivas this evening. So we're taking a shot here this evening. Hadn't done a live this long ever, other than the masterminds. Just enjoying this evening. I had a dinner plans earlier that got rescheduled, so it's 9:57 here, Friday evening. Weather's fantastic. Hey, shout out, cheers to Joseph Acuna. Shoot me that DM. Love to hear it. Wholesale deals. I'm looking, I'm definitely a buyer. We're one of the largest players in manufactured housing in Arizona, licensed, bonded, and insured. I buy stuff that's already on a lot. I'm not a fan of trying to transport or deal with the local mafioso that wants his fee in order to transport those homes at the end of the day. That creates a lot of challenge. Subject to and stuff like that really big. If the people that you call as a wholesaler are not open to doing a transaction, a lot of people are going to tell you to kick rocks. And we've pivoted into offering some second lien lending on homes just like that. So say you're a wholesaler, right? And you call a list of 1,000 people on their foreclosure list, and they all tell you to go, screw off at the end of the day. We've found a adjacent strategy to turn those into actual deals by offering them, depending on what kind of equity they have in their property, a second lien loan, a private home equity line of credit at 65% loan to value or less with the new debt, creating a second lien position collateralized. It's almost like a personal loan where we'll give them a loan to reinstate their mortgage and ultimately have sufficient equity cushion for us to feel comfortable within that transaction. So I'm looking to do more deal flow in that accord. So, would love to connect Joseph or any other wholesaler that's viewing this evening to figure out how to help you additionally capitalize on the deals that people tell you to screw off. We're monitoring the chat this evening in Facebook, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to Skylar Leva watching this evening. We've had multiple people kind of come in and out. If you have questions about real estate investing, feel free to comment below. We're just enjoying a cigar, having a little bit of Chivas. I set up the lights and the TV here this evening, kind of sick. New, you got to do new stuff to get new views, new leverage out in the market. And that's what we're doing here this evening. Just giving you a little back office view of what it looks like to manufacture the life that you want at the end of the day. What's another gem I could drop? I've been dropping gems for like 30 minutes straight. Here's a gem for you. Health is wealth at the end of the day. I went 2 years ago to a doctor who helped me get my health in line. I was trying to figure out why I didn't have so much energy, why I had brain fog, why I couldn't so much super focus. It's tough to do with all these distractions going on. But if your health isn't dialed in at the end of the day, you're really limiting your capabilities. So I think I spent, upwards of $10,000 on a couple blood cleanings, some blood oxygenation, red light therapy, stomach cleanse, some peptides. And, the proof is in the pudding. I have people ask frequently how I do, go from this meeting to that meeting, go live, structure a script, film a video with 10 different angles, add some artificial intelligence sprinkle in there, film it, edit it, post it, and then go to a meeting after that, then head to another networking meeting. The schedule's pretty crazy lately, and that's all from my health at the end of the day, getting the sleep, going to the gym. Got the cold plunge I'm looking at right now. May have to get in that tonight. just for the hell of it. But all those are extremely important to implement, and they're not easy. Spending $10,000 on your health, who thought of that? See if my lighter will still work. We are monitoring the chat right now on Facebook. Feel free to drop a question. We had some good interaction with a wholesaler this evening. Cool little banter back and forth. Throw me a hypothetical situation. Throw me a question. We've had like 15 people log in and log out. I'm answering questions this evening from a seasoned real estate investor. We're monitoring the chat on Facebook. At least until this cigar goes out. Just having a time here this evening. What's another gem I could drop right now? Let's say that you're failing to take the leap and build your brand out of what's it called? Lack of humility, lack of confidence, lack of self-confidence in who you are. You're afraid things aren't going to work if you put yourself out there. Well, that's how it's done, people. You got to throw spaghetti at the wall at the end of the day. Try things, and things don't work until they do. And what does that mean? That means you got to take a risk. You got to risk, out in the market with yourself, with your own brand, and find out what's going to work for you and what doesn't. Because sitting back and saying all these different things don't work for you, they worked for somebody at the end of the day, and you're not going to know if it's going to work or not. Why? Because you never done it, nor have you ever given, those types of risks your full attention and your undivided attention. It goes back to the saying, when someone's in a classroom asks you to raise your hand and you raise your hand halfway. Well, why didn't you raise it the whole way? Classic representation. Why didn't you give it your all the first try? Why didn't you put yourself out there? Because you have the ability to do so. Oh, well, I'm going to do that when the time is right. The time's right now at the end of the day. So we're monitoring the chat right now on Facebook. If you have a question, I'm a seasoned real estate investor. Throw me a hypothetical situation. Throw me a hardship that you're currently facing. Throw me a question that you have and it's making you want to get an education program. I could save you $5,000 right now. Couple gunshots going off here in Tempe. Nothing irregular. We're just enjoying the evening here, smoking a cigar. We're 34 minutes in. I'm smoking on a Padron 1926, sipping on a little Chivas Regal here this evening. Me and Romeo sat down in a bunch of trash. Pollen. What's the next gem I could drop right now? My allergies are going a little crazy with all this pollen flowing around from the rain. Need to blow the backyard. If I was a wholesaler, I'd be posting. You know what I would do? I would go hire a VA, and I'd hire probably five and fire three after the first week. Why? Because not every VA is going to be able to operate how you want them to operate. Super time consuming program to train one VA. Train five at the same time for $5 to $8 an hour. And if you can't find a VA for less than $8 an hour, then you're probably looking in the wrong, you know, employment category, whether you're going through Upwork or you're going through some other provider. uh, you should probably find a different avenue. There's people out of the Philippines, out of Mexico, out of a couple different other markets that are highly intelligent. I had a web developer tell me one time that he thought he was more efficient than a Vietnamese collegiate level teacher, not a teacher, but a professor at the Vietnamese college, and he thought that he had things more dialed in than a professor that actually went to school for this stuff. The individual happened to be a photographer, but it was kind of funny to me. And the guy would work for $8 an hour. At the end of the day, that's what I would do. I'd go hire five BAs at say $8 an hour. Hopefully, you can try and get them for a little bit less, but really at $8 an hour, what's that really going to hurt? Hire five, fire three after the first week, and keep the best two that do the most for you. Maybe keep one at the end of the day. It's up to you, what kind of finance that you have in order to back that up. But as you hire them, implement stuff that you're failing to do on a daily basis, which is really, forward facing marketing. So if you can put together a distribution pipeline for someone to be able to work in your background and ultimately maybe grab Dropbox photos or videos and generate forward facing marketing, you got to procure a lot of that marketing as far as videos and stuff yourself, unless they're AI proficient, which is good to kind of double down on AI generated advertising, which comes with a little bit higher fee, those subscriptions and stuff like that. So fire three that aren't working for you. You got two VAs. Have one grab Dropbox content that you produce every day, whether you're just shooting on your phone or some other vehicle, and have them grab that and post it for you every day. Do that 3-4 times a day. It sounds cliche, but if you end up drowning the viewer in enough content at the end of the day, someone's going to end up paying attention, and you're going to end up being a staple in the industry. Why? Because visibility is really proof in what you have to offer. Not proof, but providing a staple for you to be a magnate of the industry, and you end up taking over the wavelengths. Just for instance, right? Over the past 3 years, I've attended some of the largest national node investment conferences, and every conference I would go to, I would film interviews, use their logos, get their blessing at the end of the day. But if you search a lot of these national node investment conferences and associations, it's a lot of my stuff that ends up coming up inadvertently. Why? Because I threw enough spaghetti at the wall in order to pick up the items that people are searching. And just a quick reminder, we're monitoring the chat on Facebook and YouTube. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. We're monitoring the chat on Facebook right now. If you have a question about real estate investment, a burning question, a hardship that you're currently facing, maybe a deal that you have on the table, comment below. But that one strategy, piggybacking content with the conferences or associations that we're attending, is worth millions of dollars in organic investment. Millions of dollars. And a lot of people are starting to pay attention because that one case specific strategy. So I'm giving away the sauce this evening because I'm feeling good. We're here in the Tempe market. It is 10:12 on the Friday evening here in Tempe, Arizona. Weather's good. Got the hoodie on. Got the Barrett Jackson hoodie on. Got the lowrider out front. And I've manufactured my business to be able to be operated off a cell phone. I can travel anywhere I want. The checks come regardless of complications in management, projection in appreciation. It's an income-oriented investment strategy. So I could go to Tahiti. I have a couple of investors, one in particular that moved to the Philippines off his real estate notes that he acquired from us. Some short-term hypothecated notes, which means a 1-year annualized double-digit interest rate, and some notes that he actually acquired 100%. So that investor who acquired those notes will make 14 and 15% depending on the origination of that note, and collect his payments and go live outside the U.S. where the cost of living is that much less, effectively achieving financial freedom. And that's a quick case study. That individual I found off social media marketing. I was standing here actually in the backyard about a year ago doing an announcement of a note, a case specific note that came available in the Tempe market. And that was paying like $1,000 a month off $100,000 investment, virtually a 12% return. And I was saying case specifics. It's this house off these cross streets. If you're interested, give me a shout. It pays this amount. And I boosted that, I think, for like 150, $200. And within a day, I got a hit from an individual. He had an alias account that actually he was logged in as, but he now has $500,000 with me right now. So truly life-changing for him to go, move out of the country and have the income he needs to go live in the Philippines. Cost of living over there is not much at the end of the day. So shout out to all the people that were trickling in and out. We're getting to the end of this series. May go an hour. We're at 42 minutes and 35 seconds. Sipping a little Chivas this evening, smoking a Padron. Shout out to my father, James Guajardo, watching this evening. We're answering questions from real estate investors. If you have a burning question or some deals on the table, we were talking to a wholesaler earlier, connected with Joseph Acuna in the chat. A little bit of a new format here this evening. We're out on the back patio doing a long form stream. I'm going to start doing more of this stuff. Had some great interaction this evening. I saw a lot of these streamers are getting these backpacks that have like data plans and stuff like that, where you can go stream anywhere, walk around. So may have to start doing that. I heard they're like $30,000. May have to make that investment. Shout out to James Guajardo to make it happen. That's what we're doing this evening. Making connections, just recapping the day, enjoying a cigar, sipping a little Chivas Regal here, enjoying this fine weather in Tempe, Arizona. I'm doing big things. I think I'm going to have to start streaming more. People really like the edited videos. I've been doing a lot of that where I will generate a script on ChatGPT, right? In my niche, ChatGPT, I've been training for the past 2 years. So I'll make a script in ChatGPT, put it in 11 Labs, which is an audio reader. 11 Labs will allow me to listen to the script through my headphones. I'll go show up, say, at Tempe Town Lake, not have to read a script, and ultimately do that single script 3 times in 3 different camera angles. So those videos and the edits that I do have garnished a tremendous amount of views and interest. Shout out to Corey Slavinsky. Appreciate your interaction this evening. Shout out to the high praises. the other day. Looking forward to doing some business with you. But we're trying to do more of these streams, get some interaction going. We've been starting to do our mastermind live, and I'll start monitoring the Facebook chat. But the edited videos, those are coming out really well. It's getting really good traction, as well as I kind of like doing them. They're a lot of work, so I can spend, say, 2 hours from when I sit down, have an idea, generate the script. I live like 10 minutes from Tempe Town Lake, maybe 5 minutes. Uh, and within 2 hours of me generating the idea, generating the script, going down to Tempe Town Lake and filming that video, right? Coming back to my house, editing that, dropping it on the laptop, and adding captions, transitions, some cool edits. People really like that content. So I'm trying to do more of that. I would love to get an editor sometime soon that can match some of my cool edits. But shout out to the interaction below. James Guajaro, father and partner here. Tell wholesalers we need more deals around ASU with larger lot sizes. So that's something that we're looking out for. I told Mr. Acuna that was actually commenting to reach out. So we'll give him our buy box and ultimately, hopefully execute on more pad splits. Pad splits, a huge need. Affordable housing is one of the biggest needs. And Corey Slavinsky's like on point as always. All this data is supported by Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, and that helps me make the decisions I need in order to be an educated, risk mitigated real estate investor. And that's actually how I met Corey. Corey was introduced to me from Tommy D. Tommy D is a influential real estate developer and creative finance strategist that I met at Azria. He does a lot of stuff of AI implementation and stuff like that. Boom, Corey. Need to have you on the podcast. I've done a ton of. Corey said, "I've done a ton of content and pod. Gosh, I can't even talk right now. I've done a ton of I've done a ton of content and podcasting. Hit me up if you need anything, bro. Love it. Sorry, my screen's kind of cracked. Hard to read at this little angle going. But yeah, I would love to have you on the podcast. We're here about building relationships and lifetime real estate investment. At the end of the day, we're answering questions this evening. If you have a burning question, something that you've been struggling with as a real estate investor, I may be able to save you that $5,000 education you're looking at buying. Drop the question below. Drop your deal that you have. Drop a happy face. Shout out to Corey. We'll see if I can keep this cigar lit this evening. Smoking on a Padron. We're here in the backyard. Got the TV, got the lights set up. I'm kind of loving this new format we got going on. Having a challenge here. Drop your question below. We're here 48 minutes in. We'll be answering questions until this cigar ends. This Padron. I'm smoking a Toro right now, so not a presidential. You don't got that much time. See if I can keep this cigar lit. Appreciate your interaction this evening. Just enjoying the weather here. What other gem can I drop? Get a Calendly. If you don't have a Calendly, which I'm implementing here, makes scheduling with investors, that much more convenient at the end of the day. I've haven't been able to do that. My emails have been crazy. If you've been sending me emails and I'm not receiving them or not replying, I'm not ignoring you. I promise. It's my email platform. We're switching over to a Go High Level program. I'll be getting a new email, so I apologize about my lack of correspondence with you. If you're failing to get correspondence via email, super challenge right now. Shout out to Corey. Corey Slavinsky in the chat. Have a land deal. I need to dispo ASAP. 50C on the money multi-commercial mobile home. MH. Send me those details. Happy to throw it around. Corey knows that we're in the business at the end of the day. Implementing new strategy, implementing Go High Level, as a CRMs of utmost importance. If you're not running drip campaigns and you're doing personal outreach, that's not a business at the end of the day. You're missing the boat. Corey, drop that deal in the chat if you got it. Would love to, look at it live here. You never know. Or if you like, send me an email. Either way. That's alden@winmobilehomes.com. That email will be changing. The people viewing here this evening, we're monitoring the chat on Facebook right now, just smoking a cigar, having a little Chivas Regal here on the side, and answering your questions. As a seasoned real estate investor here in the Arizona market, specializing in real estate notes, seller financing, manufactured housing, pad split, long-term rentals, wholesale deals are flying back and forth here in the chat. Just looking to expand, provide value out here in the market. Corey's about to drop a deal in the chat. Love it. We're not quite at a million views here, but this is where it starts, people. With your interaction, we're all one step closer to financial freedom. Appreciate you viewing this evening. We got a little cigar left. We'll let it ride. Boom. Here, we got a literal deal in the chat. Shout out to Corey Slavinsky out here working on a Friday evening. Day off. What's a day off? Never heard of that before. Check this out. We got a literal live deal in the chat right now. Huge price drop. Now only $96,000. Multi-family lot. Okay. Build ready in Prescott. Big need for multi-family properties in the Arizona market. Contrary to popular belief. So if you're not monitoring the Facebook chat, go check this out. In the Facebook chat, Mr. Corey Slavinsky put his information and everything. Wow. Love it. So let's just read this. This flat buildable lot sits in a quiet cul-de-sac with city water, sewer, and power at the lot line. Perfect for a duplex, triplex, or small multifamily project, or a flexible mixed-use build with strong investment potential. He put a full kind of description and the actual address. So what does that mean as a wholesaler? That means he controls the deal. Most people aren't willing to do that. You know why? Because they don't control the deal. They don't have it under contract. It's literally just an idea. No days off, bro. Shout out to Corey. Yeah, I talk to a lot of multifamily guys right now. So I'll bring this by them, see if we can't help you do a deal, Corey, or maybe we help, go vertical on a property like this. My objective with the fund is to get into larger capital investment opportunities, really providing affordable housing or affordable rentals, stuff like that. But if you're just viewing right now, just joining, we're here smoking a cigar here on the patio. New little format we got going on. We're 54 minutes in, just having some Chivas, having a Padron. We got deals flying back and forth in the chat. This is what capital investment and streaming looks like. So a couple wholesaling deals, a couple new contacts, a couple questions, a lot of gems we've dropped this evening. Got the heartburn going. I was supposed to go to dinner earlier for my father's birthday. Had a little reschedule. That's okay. My father dropped in on the chat there for a minute. But yeah, I think I'm going to make the jump and get the streaming backpack so I can maybe even show up to this lot that Corey sent and start streaming, talk about it, do stuff like that for our deals. People want to see that stuff, see the interaction, kind of see some candid environment opposed to a fully edited video where, everything's super polished. People love candid. So drop your questions below. May save you $5,000. We're probably going to rock this for another 5 minutes. Maybe longer. It took a minute to set all this stuff up. If you're just logging in, drop a question below. Oh, we got another question or a statement from Mr. Slavinsky. I have the title commitment, all the easement info, setbacks, everything. If you're interested, email Corey, info@bcpsolutionsaz.com. Quick plug for my man Corey. Shout out to the people viewing this evening. We've had 1,000 viewers so far. I'm just kidding. We've had like 10 people log in and out, multiple people kind of interact with our stream tonight. And I may start doing this every Friday. We had some good interaction, had some random people logging in and checking it out. At the end of the day, there's people that support you and the ones that don't, and that line's very thin at the end of the day. So we're getting good support out here in the chat. There's your investors, there's your contacts, the people that like, and trust, and then there's the haters that don't interact, that don't, like posts, but be watching more than anyone. I'd be interested, back in the day, they had those accounts that you could have like a paid subscription and see all the people that are surfing your stuff, and I bet I could name a couple of the people that view the most and never interact. So I appreciate you interacting this evening. We've got real deals, real capital investment. Proof is in the pudding. We're getting low on the cigar here. We're just going to let it ride. $10:30 here in Tempe, Arizona. Lately, I've been going to sleep at like 8 o'clock. Getting up at 5, going to the gym, hitting the cold plunge, taking Romeo to the park. If you don't follow me on Facebook and you're watching on YouTube, follow me on Facebook. Check out the day-to-day vlogs that we do on my stories. Sipping a little Chivas here. Corey's sharing it out. Corey, you're the best, man. Anyone ever tell you that? We're here having a good time, living life as capital investors. It takes a team. It truly takes a team. You can't do this by yourself. And to be nimble and be able to include people in the opportunities that you have available is the difference between a successful strategy and not. Because if you can't include people in what you do, then there's not enough room for you to scale to get where you want to be at, unless it's, straight e-commerce or non-real estate, related, or, all the above. There's still employees to be had. There's still, cheddar that's flying around, influencing other individuals to help you get to the goal that you want to get to. and to find the opportunities that will make enough profit, do enough business in order to put people in position around you where they want to be at, is the difference between you getting to $100 million and not. So if you can help someone make $1 million, if you can help someone make their $1 million and become financially free while making a profit, not giving it all away at the end of the day, that's where the true rubber meets the road. And to be able to do that and feel confident, it is truly life changing at the end of the day. So I've been ranting, I think, for an hour. We're here, literally just said it. As I say it, we're at an hour. It's weird. So we're going to shut it down here in a minute. Just enjoying the evening, listening to some rap music, sipping some Chivas. I was sitting down here I guess an hour and 15 minutes ago, and I was like, man, I just got off a stream. Should I stream again? And sometimes you be sitting back and like being your own biggest hater, you know? Like, man, I shouldn't do that again. Oh, what are people going to think? Who cares at the end of the day? This is the difference between getting to where you want to be at and letting other individuals influence your vision at the end of the day. Love it, Corey. I only want to prosper to inspire others. The rest is up to God. And faith is of utmost importance, to say the least. If you don't have faith, you don't really have much. What are you working for at the end of the day? you know Putting that into perspective and understanding, we're called to serve. We're called to put other people in position. We're called to be a light out in the market, in the industry, in life, in business, and all the above. So to have those priorities in check, you know that's what's going to keep you healthy in the right state of mind, and be able to execute in high pressure situations, because the kitchen gets hot, my boy. The kitchen gets real hot, and you're in the kitchen. If you're not in the kitchen, then you're not in control of the recipe. And a lot of people don't want to be the chef, you know and that's really the difference between an entrepreneur and someone that's going to settle for a 9 to 5. And most people that are commenting here this evening are not a 9 to 5 worker, or they're looking to exit their 9 to 5. They've been in a position where they may be making some decent money, but not enough. A 9 to 5 is not going to do that 9 times out of 10, give you enough capital to become truly financial free. So we're monitoring the chat right now on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. I left this off LinkedIn because it's a little bit of a new streaming strategy here. But feel free to comment your questions below. We got some literal wholesale deals here in the chat. Just goes to show the wide breadth of reach that we get out in the market, of the people that we've touched, and the people that know that this is true capital investment operation, true disposition, true true 9 to 5 workers working 6 to 12. That's the truth right there. Love it. But this is the reach, people, at the end of the day. So I'm answering questions in the chat. Drop your chat right now. Appreciate you viewing this evening. We're just enjoying a cigar. I'm always smoking Padron. Sean was getting on me the other day about that. Smoke some Camacho here and there. But I've been dropping gems for the past hour. We had some great wholesale conversations. I've dropped some gems for people working a 9 to 5, wanting to exit or make some money on the side, or make a commission-based program, or I don't even know all the stuff that we talked about this evening. Go back and view this. This will post on Facebook and YouTube. We still got 2 viewers right now. Appreciate you viewing this evening and interacting. Corey's watering his plants. Love it. Did a video earlier about being unmovable and how do you become unmovable? How do you build a bulletproof portfolio? I heard that from a friend of mine, Austin Mastro, stockbroker, and he put that into perspective for me about it 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. He was my first podcast that I did. I actually traveled out to New York and we did a bunch of content around meeting other affluent finance individuals in the New York market. But how do you build a bulletproof portfolio? Given the uncertainty right now, you know, uh, buy and hold is tough unless you're acquiring subject to, unless you're building out a multi-room pad split. Conventional real estate investment strategies aren't working. And look at the stock market. The stock market just lost $2 trillion. I don't care what your financial advisor has to say. There's no way to insulate from that unless you're making 3% on a bond or a mutual fund. You're making 8%, but you're still paying management fees and things of that nature. Step outside of that, potential, and start building a bulletproof portfolio. We got 3 people watching right now. Super surprised. We've been here an hour and 5 minutes here smoking a cigar on the patio, just living the life at the end of the day. May have to grab another bevy here. It's Saturday night, 10:38. Why not? We're getting down to the nub on the cigar. Shout out to Corey. Built a wholesale business. Looking at exiting his 9 to 5 soon. Love to do some deals at the end of the day. Met up with multiple business professionals earlier. I was in a room with 500 other people operating out in the market. Get another comment here from Corey. Shout out to Corey. I'm 100% all about land and affordable housing, bro. It's not just something I take because I think it's easy. It's something I pick because I like it and I'm good at it. And it's also one of the biggest needs in the nation. You, don't forget to mention that. To hedge your bet in affordable housing, one of the biggest needs in the nation is, going to prove to be successful, I think, over the next 5 to 10 years. You know why? Because my great great grandfather, Warren Buffett, is actually doing the same thing. So you're in a Warren Buffett investment strategy, my friend. Got 3 viewers going right now. Shout out. We're live right now on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be doing more of these streams, providing you unfiltered value, opportunity to kind of ask questions or, drop a burning desire. We do that on our mastermind. I encourage you to join our mastermind every Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific, Arizona time. And kind of do the same thing. I don't monitor the Facebook chat like I'm doing right now. So if you have questions, drop your question, or you could join our mastermind and have live due diligence. Check out our deal flow. We're just enjoying the evening, smoking a cigar, got the TV, got the lights out this evening. People are wondering what I'm doing. I'm making millions of dollars. That's what I'm doing. We're getting close to the end here, people. Appreciate you viewing. We're over an hour. I didn't think I was going to do it this long. But today is brought to you by Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. Invest accredited and earn a 10% return for 1 year, paid monthly, 12% for 3 year, paid quarterly, or 14% return, paid monthly for a 5-year lockup. That's a 506C Reg D official SEC offering. You can invest today with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund and start earning interest in as little as a 30-day program. This is the longest stream I've done, longest video we put out. Appreciate you viewing this evening. Appreciate you interacting. It's one step closer to financial freedom. What do we call that? Mobile mailbox money. I'm going to call it here this evening. Grab another drink, put my feet up, maybe take an hour off or two. Appreciate it, guys.